No, really, think about it. Think about it. I know I'm 198 years old. But all kidding aside, think about that. Jill said you women should take off your high heels. The rest of you should lie down. My Lord, talk about commitment standing all this time. All along, but Kamala and Doug and Jill and I knew as well. My name is Joe Biden. I am Jill's husband and Kamala's running mate. Y'all think I'm kidding.
Thank you all.
Madam Vice President, you have a moment to accomplish that Russia. Have you been briefed on the
Outraged, I called my husband Doug, because there were a collection of words that were coming to mind that would not have been proper for me to speak with some other people.
But let's always take a moment to also see what we have achieved thus far, while we clearly see the moment that we are presently in. So we have achieved a lot.
She understood what was possible, unburdened by what has been.
And I was the eldest grandchild. And so, as I'm sure many of you know, culturally, to be the eldest has a certain significance. And so I took full advantage of that status in our family. And my grandfather, of course, convinced me, as he did, I think, every one of his grandchildren, that we were his favorite. And as a point of personal privilege, as chair of the National Space Council, I thank you for your leadership in space and for our joint work on an Earth science satellite, which will help us address the climate crisis.
I have to leave as soon as the president finishes because I'm getting on the plane going to San Francisco. And when I land, it'll be just dark enough for me to flip the switch. Thank you. Just dark enough for me to put the switch to have the Bay Bridge lit up in gay pride colors. The gay pride. It has to be dark enough.
He said yesterday he expects to meet with President Xi in the future near term. Can you define what that means? Should we expect that by the end of the year?
Near term? I don't have anything more specific for you than that. The president will absolutely get together with President Xi again in a bit at the appropriate time. I just don't have anything for you on that.
John, the president said in his comments yesterday that he doesn't believe his China comments have had any consequence. Isn't China issuing a démarche to the U.S. ambassador in Beijing a consequence?
If démarches issued by nations against other nations were some sort of bellwether for whether a relationship was collapsing or in any danger, my goodness, Jeremy, a démarche is a démarche that happened all the time. I'm not going to get into the specifics. I'm not going to get into the specifics of this one. The president's